Okay, there we go. It's a little picture I missed last time. Let's see here. Just answering something in the chat here. Okay, so here the beginning chat is nope, hour max. We were talking before I came online. Deal with it. All right. I think how's sound? Let me know how sound is. That's been a little learning issue with me. Io, hear you just fine. That's actually the name of a friend of mine, Io. So, sound and video are A-okay. Good. Let's turn on my do not disturb because I'm being disturbed. It is. Why was I hearing it then? Oh, well, who cares? Okay. So here we go. This is, I believe, going to be it. And we finished in a great point at last session where we got all these riddles, and then we knew we had some work ahead of us. Some of them were solved in the chat. There's way too much going on to do a in-depth recap, but basically we're stuck in the world of Edgar Allan Poe. We have taken over the body of Prince Prospero, and we've met like all these inhabitants from all these different stories, and we've collected these keys. And now we're piercing back into the inner sanctum. And that is where we kind of are going to start. So we're back in this stronghold. There's this room with all these keys. Now, if you all remember, the first key that we happen to go into is the Black Cat key. And, shoot, was it 49? I think it's 49. Let's see here. Skadoosh. Yes. So we open that door. Our key dissolves and we get this number. This 615379. So we lost our cat key. We get this number. And then what I'm going to start doing is just kind of scrolling through all... The cat was nice. The cat just flat out gave us the answer. Well, kind of the answer. Because what we knew was happening was... jumping back to 99 here real quick, which will probably take a bit. Boink, 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 boink. We had... here it is, right here. In order to use the key of the Inquisition, solve the puzzle by looking at the clues you find in other rooms and comparing them to each other. So that is our overarching goal right now. So we got this one weird thing of numbers. So let's jump back to 49 and just start kind of going through all of these. Now, Mike and I, that's not 49. That's not 49. That's not 49. That's 49. Okay, so Mike and I went over this, and I have a little video. It took about an hour, maybe, of the two of us working through it. But here we go. Here's a little. This is our Discord chat going over it that night. So just to prove we actually worked through this. But this is our Discord of trying to figure out all of these riddles here. I even sent it to my friend Barry to try to help us, but he was kind of busy with something and couldn't. So anyway, proof that we did do this. We didn't cheat. So let's see what we got here. We're just going to scroll up and just go through all of them. They were all numbers that ended in 4, and then we had to reverse them. So they all kind of start with 4. We also had Storm in the chat. Storm is located, I believe, somewhere in Western Europe or Western Africa, based on their time zone. And they were following along afterwards, and they're like giving the answers like in real time, answers we didn't get very fast. So well, let's see here. No, that was Kaspar, who was in Germany. Then there was Storm as well, who joined us in a previous episode. So let's just kind of go backwards and we'll talk these out. This one wasn't too hard. We almost solved this in real time. I believe it is 134. What we're trying to do is figure out how to... I wonder if I can ping. Oh, that would have been nice. Try to make this little star shape here, and we needed to put them together from these different shards, but I believe it was 134. I checked, and then we got, again, the same thing like with the cat. We got another number. It wasn't this number, but it was a different number, but it was another 6-digit number. So then Mike and I had to figure out this one. This one was, we've already done this kind of one, basically. You just need the numbers of like the 17 here. That's the easiest one to get, because they have to be a number 1 through 9. And they have to be like consecutive. 9 and 8 are the two highest numbers, and they equal 17. So they kind of match where the cables meet up. This one was a pretty easy one. We got this. I banged this one out really quick. This was, the answer was 1, 2, 3 because it was shaded. So I went to paragraph 1, 2, 3, got another 6-digit number. Then we moved up to this one. You both solved this one in the chat. You're basically just multiplying it by the number before it. So like to get to 56, you can see there's above it in the column next to it is an 8 and 7 equals 56. 6 and 7 equals 42. 5 and 6 equals 30. 4 and 5 equals 20. So we knew the next number would be 72. We went to paragraph 72. We got another number. Here's the one that got me. I would not have gotten this. I do not think I would have gotten this. It talks about how there's like light and how we're trying to, this is the Raven, like we're entrapped and there's these like black tendrils trying to get us. And this is when I reached out to Mike at the start of the Discord. I was like, I'm working on this and I could not get it. Mike thought he was trying to get them to equal 178, as you can see at the bottom, 151, 129. It's like, no, that's just the next shape that goes where the question mark is. So that helped out Mike. But yeah, this one I was trying to think is like, is it an orthographic projection? Like where it's like the sides of something where if you're looking at something three-dimensional, I was like, is it like the sun and the horizon? Are they numbers? Is it like a clock? I was just trying all of these ideas. And Mike, I wish I would have, it's a video that I showed the Discord, how he explained it. But basically what it is, you look at them in rows and you find, I should be able to mark this up. Let's see here. You find what doesn't exist. So if we're looking at the top row, the left 2 columns. So the first 2, basically. We're looking to see what lines are not in its neighbor. So for instance, this line, whoa, that was a terrible draw, is not in the neighbor. And this straight up and down line is in the neighbor. The one right in the middle, that's in the neighbor. And this line is not in the neighbor to his left. So what we do is that's how we get this shape right here. If that makes sense. Because we use the shapes that aren't in the line, in the shape that precedes it. So therefore, in the second row is a mess. I don't want to do that. So in this next one, we have this is not in it. That's this first line here. We do have the line that kind of cuts it in half along horizontally, so we're not going to put that in there. We do have this shape. Is this vertical line in the second box is not in it. And we don't have this line. So it's like an upside down peace sign, which is this. That is the answer. Morgan, thank you. I would literally verbatim was saying that. I would never have gotten that. And I'm pretty sure in Discord I said I never would have gotten that. I think I capitalized never. So thank you, Mike. Beyond that, was that it? That's it. I do see right here, the avatar trusts you. I don't think our avatar does trust us. I think they're still traumatized, but we can be trusted. Is that true? I don't remember in the last episode. So we're still dealing with puzzles. So Mike and I got those numbers. And then once we got all of those numbers, so let's go back to 99. And thankfully I did do this work because this would be the most boring stream ever as we sat here and tried to puzzle this out. Because this next one took just as long to figure out. So we do have, now we have the keys of the Inquisition. But if you remember, we opened the old Pest key, which I think is this one right here, the King Pest. And King Pest disappeared on us. And I believe I can pop him up here. Boink. And he said this: insert key into the lock. When it is inside, turn it quickly, but it breaks in your fingers. Damn! Examine the remains. The symbol on the key vanished, leaving no trace. We did end up trusted? Great, we're trusted. Thank you. I honestly don't remember that. Because again, in pushing the stream, I was like, I knew we were running long, so it's really kind of pushing to keep us on time. But so we had this. And I was actually on the right track before I got Mike to help me that night. Because it looks like a stanza. So again, like as an actor person, I was like, oh, it's kind of like a sonnet, like a haiku. So I counted it in syllables, is what I did. And I was like, ooh, that's unwieldy. Then I was like, that's not it. Mike counted the words in each line. So we have 5, 7, 6, 1, 3, and then 9, I believe. And that which is a 6-digit number. So that is actually the next number. That would be in of all of those numbers. So with that, we have these numbers. Which actually I think I didn't even include. Let's see if I can bring this down here. Oh, what's that? All right, actually, I'll probably need to squish it. Let's see if I can squish this. Whoa. Oh, I bet it's locked. That's why it's not doing anything. Yep. Let's unlock it. Now I can move it. Come here, you. So there we go. Yeah, 5, 7, 6, 1, 3, 9. So these were our numbers. And Mike said in the chat of... Yeah, oh, yeah, this is some numbers. We probably will never have to hear this song again. So, musical piece again. Because this is not in any upcoming streams of mine as of now. But every time I hear it, it just sounds like somebody getting their head bopped between things. Which was very reminiscent of what it was like to break this code. So, these are numbers, and I had them like really close, and then Mike said, this is literally from my notes, like trying to puzzle this out, no pun intended. So he said it works if it's more on a grid. So we started to look, because again, we're trying to find comparing the numbers. That's what we're told to do. So we quickly realized there's a lot of repeats. There's a lot of 8s and 9s. There's no 4. So what Mike... Actually, I started adding the numbers up. I started with the columns. That didn't do anything good. But the first time where I thought I was onto something is when I... gosh darn it, stop that. There we go. It's going to get a little longer here. Oh, there we go. So I was like, please have it there. Is when I added up the rows. And at first, I wrote my... I was like, oh, I think I'm onto something. Because it went 31, 30, 28. Then I had a 29. And what I was thinking was it was going to equal basically like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. It's like, oh, which one's missing? 4. Let's go to paragraph 4. But we had a repeat and one was a 23. But what I then did is so don't pay attention to those numbers anymore. But, gosh darn it. It's a little hard to do. Here we go. That's it. That's what we want. Yeah. These are the numbers. So don't pay attention to 31 on this first line. Just pay attention to the 0, 2, 4, 8. Those are the 4 numbers that are not in this row. In the next row, there's a 0, 4, 5, 6. 0, 4, 6, 7. And so these are the numbers on this new column we have of 4 digits. These are the numbers that are not in each row. So what I did from that was... I picked the numbers that were not in any of those columns, which was 139. And that appeared to be the right paragraph. So that is where we're going right now. Morgan says, this game makes my brain hurt. Yeah, I did not... we can have a little review here, because again, I think we are... I think, because I wanted to see if that was correct, and it looked like it was. But it looked like it may be leading us to the end. So let us go. Let's get rid of these, and we will go to 139, which is new uncharted territories for me. So let me find what we got here. This was like a 3-4 step puzzle, pretty sophisticated for a little solo RPG book. Yeah, I know, Morgan, you're just like, oh my gosh, I hate this. But it was, I was pretty frustrated the last couple episodes, but we can talk about it in the review. We'll talk about it in the review. Let's see here. So, 134 is like, oh my God, where am I going? 134. Wait, is that right? Is that what I said? 139? Maybe I said 139. Dear God, if I got this wrong. Was it 139? Now I can't remember. Okay, thank God. I was like, oh no. Yeah, because it said when you open the door with the symbol of the Inquisition. Okay, here we go. But first, I'm going to crack open my Waterloo. Not a sponsor. All right. when you open the door to the room with the symbol of the Inquisition on it. You see a man in a suit sitting at a desk. He turns his attentive gaze towards you and lifts his pen from a thick sheet of notes. The light from an oil lamp outlines his face, revealing gentle, troubled features, and illuminates the wooden surface on which he is writing, but the rest of the room is in total darkness, as if you were surrounded by nothingness. I am Prince Poet, or at least that is my role, he introduces himself. I'm pleased to finally be able to enjoy your company. I was afraid that conjuring up the ghosts of a past war would not be enough to free the Avatar, but the enemy soldiers have opened a breach in the fortress sufficient for the purpose. The leader gets to his feet and takes a few steps towards you. He wears a thick, raven mustache, and his dark eyes, sad, scrutinize you deeply. I did not order the incarceration of the body you guided here. In fact, I, myself, am victim of the events trapped inside a script that has already been written. Just like my people, they act according to my past orders. The Prince Poet takes a long pause, then resumes his speech. Just kind of weird how the line fades out. The boundaries between life and death... Oh, wait, is this him talking? I guess it is. The boundaries between life and death are undeniably tenebrous and vague. Who can say where one ends and the other begins? We know that illnesses exist, wherein there is a total cessation of all apparent life functions, and these periods of suspension are temporarily pauses in an incomprehensible mechanism. But those who can recall them describe images so vivid that they are perceived as true. Sickness, mad love, and death in all its forms are subjects of great interest, compelling, but also horrible and shocking. The novelist may refrain from drawing on their excesses if he does not wish to offend or disgust, or he may choose to describe them in such a way that they are corroborated by the severity and majesty of that which is true. Oh. Hello, Edgar Allan Poe. Good to see you. Kind of Rubenesque, is that? No, that's not Rubenesque. Reality is the element that brings stories to life and allows you to perceive me here and now, to suspend your disbelief and exercise your will over this world. But although I have given rise to this theater of horrors, I no longer have control over it, if I even ever did. And the fate of those who populate it is ready to repeat itself when you finish listening to me. But if you are here, it is because one of the characters in this tragedy has asked to emulate himself for all those others, offering the control of his being to those who could guide his choices toward a different path than the one already written. And because of that, the Inquisition, King Pest, and the Red Death did everything they could to stop you and to divert your path. I can't blame them. They were only defending their eternal privileges. Now, please listen to your avatar. His fate, more than mine or that of these lands, is the only thing that matters now. You lose control, and your avatar speaks to you one last time. It sounds like this may be it. Our avatar. Let's just give a normal voice.
We could talk like this!
When you close this book, I shall die. And I will keep on dying in this miserable madness. I am terrified of the future, not of the unknown. I already know that it will not affect me. That's why I tremble at the mere thought of falling into the pit again, of becoming prey to rats or being consumed by the unbearable embrace of the Red Death. I am not afraid of danger, but of its inevitable consequence, which is namely fear. In this nerve-wracking and pitiful condition, I wait for the moment when I already know I will lose my life, or my reason, or both. But terror never leaves me. But my place in the script did. Not even for a moment, but my place in the script did. That is why I ask you to free me, to free us all, especially Morgan, who has post-traumatic stress disorder. Bury this book. In doing so, and only by doing this, I will have peace, and this nightmare will truly know its end. We did it, I think. Right? Yes. Okay. And that's it. That is the Edgar Allan Poe Gamebook. Phew. Yeah, no kidding. All right. Well, again, I'm happy to... I don't want to, like, run too long on this. I'm happy to take any thoughts we have. What I was about to say earlier is this book started... Here's a shovel. Let's get it done. I could just, like, trash the document. I wish I could show you my screen and I'd do that. But the... I don't know how to do that with Streamlabs. But the... Amen. The... This started with really difficult puzzles. And then it had some kind of easier ones. And then it ended with really difficult puzzles. And actually, that's... That's where I'm trying to figure out what this is. I liked the puzzles. They were tricky. Thank God I didn't keep this as shorts. So the algorithm did me a favor by not pushing it. Because, wow. Morgan says that was pretty uneven. And it kind of was. It kind of was in that regards. Granted, there may have been other puzzles in there that we didn't even know, like the number ones. Storm was naming out a few of them in an earlier. Storm, if you're sleeping, well, you're asleep. But if you watch this, hi. But I do appreciate that it for Mike and I, who we like puzzles, it started strong with puzzles and ended strong. And the story started strong as well. So what did we miss? The rough-hewn dagger, which I thought we were going to go back. Maybe if we would have gone back into... oh, dude, it would have been undoable as shorts. Especially when we're, like, looping. Like, when we're looping up in the Northwest and when we're looping through the Telltale Heart, I would have lost my mind. I feel like ultimately... That's not true. There were... and I liked it. I liked some of the choices. Yeah, I wish it could have been... I'm glad it was this because I had a technical learning curve, which thank you, MVP, Morgan, and Mike. I think Morgan may actually take it because I don't know you, my Missouri friend. Thank your husband for allowing you to spend all these hours doing this. And Mike, obviously, thank you. I've got a D&D session for you tomorrow, so I'll pay you back with that. But yeah, but this was... I'm glad it was this one because, again, I had to learn how to do this and how to talk in the void as I keep saying it. The rough-hewn dagger. We had a rough-hewn dagger and the bone shard. Where were those? So I thought we were going to return. I thought it was going to end where we started back in the pendulum, where the pit in the pendulum area, because it kept saying, do you have a rough-hewn dagger? Do you have a bone shard? Did you fill the well? I don't know how those moments would have happened. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Morgan, I know you cannot probably do it every weeknight in the future. And again, thank you. I am a fledgling channel here. I'm just getting started, and you two helped me so much just learn how to do this better, and as my sole audience. And now, like, I feel more comfortable, like, if you guys aren't here. So I'm not going to hold you accountable. We may actually end this one a little early. I was thinking about 45 minutes. We could end a little earlier. And if you two will stay on for a second, yeah, if you two will, like, stay on for a little bit second, I'll just thank you, and then I'll edit it out, because who wants to listen to me? Thank you. But, just since I have your ear. But the, I could have, there, a little bit more in frame. The bone shard, like, but, so here's the thing. In the beginning, we woke up. We could have kept our eyes closed longer. We didn't. We opened up to see where we were. I guess we walked across the room in the beginning. We could have walked to a wall. Maybe there's a bone shard there. And then when we found the pit, we found the table with the candle, and it said you can either investigate the pit or investigate the walls. And we investigated the walls. So maybe near the pit, we could have found a bone shard or rough-hewn dagger. Again, I thought we were going to return to that area. And the well, I don't know how that well was supposed to fill up, but those seem to be the big things. It felt like maybe Morgan says it seems like we missed a lot of essential story moments. Yeah, some of the things, like with the Telltale Heart, I have no idea why the choice was give him a chance to scream. I have no idea. of all the branches that story could have gone, it was probably only maybe 12 like end points. That was our last choice because it made no sense in the story the guy told us, or in the Poe story itself. I'm quite sure. So yeah, that was another just kind of a weird moment that I wasn't quite sure of what that was. But nonetheless, thank you so much for doing this. I did have a good time doing this. It was frustrating at times, but some of the puzzles were pretty clever, and I did appreciate that. Yeah, some of the choices didn't make sense at all. Why would we choose the right answer? Exactly. Is there anything you guys want me to like look up? Like, because I can just search. Like, we did it. I'm glad. I mean, I am glad I did this. This is my first like game book I think I've ever done. I've done like Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, and there's a Cthulhu one that I've done as well. But this is probably the first like game book I've done, and it is a bit of there's a little thing out there, which is pretty exciting. But yeah, is there anything that you all want me to just search up just out of complete curiosity? Just since I have it and I don't care. Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective is good fun. It is. But yeah, is there anything that you guys are in the need to know? Or if not, I'm happy to just say this is it. And I should, you know what I should do? I should at least see who this is by. It's Valentino Sergi. I actually listened to. I found an interview with him, and he's talking in Italian. It was so fast, I still couldn't figure out where he said his name. Yeah, Sergi. Sergei sounds more Russian. Sergi? I don't know how to say his name. But it is, this is the Edgar Allan Poe horror game book. I'm going to look up the Dagger and the Bone Shard. Sergi. Okay. Here we go. This is the information right here. Okay, yeah, let's look up the Bone Shard. So I'm just going to click Shard. If you possess a Bone Shard, so it's already talking about it there. If you want to attack the person coming towards you with the Bone Shard. Can you guys see this? I'm currently have the page open. Yeah, you do. Okay. If you this is our first like thing. This is the beginning. If you filled the well and have a Bone Shard, no. Here we go. Ooh. Do you think this is when we look in the grave? Is this what would happen if we would have looked at what I kept calling the Terminator grave? You're lulled by the thought of how sweet it must be to rest in a grave. Sleep comes to you. Then we start getting bitten by rats, and that's how it begins. Remember, we're having dreams that like spiders and rats are climbing on us. You struggle and try to keep them off, but they've grown in number and their weight is oppressive. You squeeze the life out of a couple and kick out, but the rodents continue gnawing until you die. When the rats have finished consuming your avatar, there isn't much left of your body, but any vestiges that remain may come in your aid in prison. Make note of the fact, before you continue on, that you now possess a Bone Shard. So that's it. That's where you get a Bone Shard. Let's see where the rough-hewn dagger was. Let's go with hewn. There we go. So again, this looks like something we get early on, this rough-hewn dagger. Like if you hit a Bone Shard or the rough-hewn dagger. So maybe it was we find a coffin in the walls, maybe right at the beginning of the game. If we would have searched the walls where we were, there were coffins, and we would have just rested in it. Or remember, it kept saying even in the beginning, it's like, do you want to rest? It's like, no. So maybe that's how we get it. Hewn dagger. Here we go. Okay, it's talking about a pit. As you stare at the pit, a flicker casts some light on a stone that protrudes ever so slightly. Okay, this would have been in the beginning when we decided to look at the wall in the room where we got the candles and the table. We looked at the walls because they're intricately carved, and there was some like little puzzle that we solved. I can't remember what we got out of it because right after that, we got captured and put into the pendulum room. But yeah, it appears that we pull up some stone in the pit, and that is our rough-hewn dagger. Yeah, so that's it. That's Bone Shard and rough-hewn dagger. They were in the beginning. We were looking for these two things for pretty much the entire game. Yeah, those seem to be the only real mysteries that I have. It did seem, so I was about to say we felt kind of railroad, like there is only one, I guess with a riddle, there is just one possible choice. Like to end the game, you had to solve that last riddle. I'm pretty sure there was no like, if you can't do it, go to, some of that had that, if you can't figure this out, go to this. But there at the end of the game, that was it. So as far as I know, that is the only ending to this game, which I thought there were multiple. But again, that was actually a pretty well-constructed puzzle if you're into that thing. I don't know. What, anything else jumping out at me? And there were, I was like, we were super frustrated with, we eventually got it with 94 about finding the key in the Black Cat area where we just kept getting killed. We were like, what? Is that the only way to get it? That's dumb. Then why not just do it? But then again, there was a puzzle within it to get it the good way, which is what we did. So there were sometimes some branches, but they were hidden within some of the wording sometimes. Do you think the Poe references were too on the nose, or should it have been more inspired by? That's a great question, Morgan. What do you think, Mike? Were they too on the nose? Maybe? I felt like, because yeah, some of them were just like insanely literal, just like going into their memories. But the Raven was a little bit more vague, which is kind of weird. The Raven helped us and gave us some clues. And then we went into the Raven room. The Raven gave us quite possibly one of the most difficult stories. Yeah, it is hard to cram in a lot of these stories, but yeah, I don't know what other way they would have done it. Like some of them were like adjacent and some were like almost verbatim. It was pretty fun how he did it. But yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm still kind of up in the air on this one. Again, I am so glad I did this one for a multitude of reasons. One, Morgan, Mike, my appreciation of you increases. And I learned a lot as well, just technically. But yeah, I think that may just be this final episode. It was just a lot of puzzles, and I really did appreciate some puzzles. They were very clever. There were a few typos, and again, you can't get too mad. I don't speak Italian, so they did a pretty darn good job of that. There were some issues that was a little confusing, but anyway, that is the Edgar Allan Poe horror game book, and Mike did appreciate the whole vibe of mash up all of Poe's works into a single world idea. Yeah, I did too. Thank you so much for watching this, and Mike and Morgan, if you can just stick around, I'll just chat with you here in a just for like 3 minutes, give you a little break. I could imagine. Oh, Mike says I could imagine doing something similar in shared worlds of Stephen King's works. That would be dope. You could really, because it would take place in Maine. You could just have all of creepy Bangor, Maine stuff going on. You could have like, the first thing that comes to my head is that stupid Coke-fueled Emilio Estevez movie. It was based on one of his stories with the goblin-headed truck. So like you have, oh, what was that thing? Oh my gosh, what was that dumb thing called? Maximum Overdrive. Thank you. I mean, but yeah, just like you could have Cujo, you have Pet Cemetery, you have so many like things that carry. There's so many like really needful things that could be a story you go into. While The Stand is going on, Flag, Pennywise. Oh man, that would be multiple volumes. But yeah, that's a fun idea. So anyway, thank you, Valentino. Thank you. Who's the I don't know who made this book. Officina Meningi. I'm sorry, I don't do Italian. Thank you. Well done. Thank you. You at least, even though I did express frustration at time, it was very clever, and you did provide us with hours of entertainment. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and check out some other videos.